Thanks for joining me today. I am going to make a cute fall sign with some interchangeable pieces. I'm going to start by painting each of my pieces with some white apple barrel paint just to give it a good base coat before I attach my rice paper that I have. I'm going to use my Craft Smart Decoupage Medium. Give it a nice little layer over each component. I found a nice background that I liked on Creative Fabrica, so I went ahead and printed that out on rice paper. I do really enjoy working with the rice paper. As you can see, I can pick it up and reposition it as I need to. I'm going to go ahead and dry it real good with my Ranger heat tool. Then I'm going to sand off that excess rice paper with my gator. You can buy these at Walmart, Amazon, any of the home stores, I'm sure. As you can see there's kind of some hard to get to places, so I have this file set that I purchased on Amazon. I'm using that to get down in there. I do recommend doing it over a trash can. I did use my scissors to trim off some of the excess as well. That gator leaves just a nice clean finish there. I'm using an Artistro paint marker to draw on my little face there on my ghost. He's super cute. I have this board that I got at Hobby Lobby in the woodpile section. I'm sure that I probably purchased it at 40% off. I'm going to go ahead and use some ground espresso there to go around my letters, just inking them to give it a nice finish so it can pop off the board. I did use black soot to go around the ghost. Now I have some orange folk art paint, I do believe that was. I'm going to go ahead and paint this pumpkin here. And notice as I paint, I'm actually going, in the motions to curve around the pumpkin. I'm not going straight up and down. I am trying to keep that curvature just like a pumpkin has. And then I'm using some brown paint to go ahead and paint that stem. And you'll see there I do go kind of down into that center section of the pumpkin a little bit, just like a pumpkin stem would come up out of the center of the pumpkin. And then I decide to go ahead and use some light brown just to give it a little bit of dimension there on that stem. Now I've got this cute little football. I'm going to go back to that dark brown color. I'm going to give it a good coat as well. And switching over here to the apple, I've got that apple barrel red paint. Same thing here, I'm not going back and forth with the paint. I'm really keeping with the curvature of the shape of the apple. And I'm going to go ahead and fill in the leaf there with some green paint. And don't forget to get the edges and the sides there of your pieces. I'm painting the stem, same thing, going right down into that center of the apple a little bit. I'm going to go back to my pumpkin now that it's dry, and I'm going to use that light brown paint and try to get those ribs of the pumpkin in there. I'm barely pushing with my paintbrush and just using the side of that brush there. I do start to try to kind of blend it in a little bit, but that wood is so porous, it just really soaked up the paint, so I really didn't even get a chance to blend it in with my fingers. So I went back to my orange and I used that to blend the two together. Super cute. Look at all that depth. Now I've got to go ahead and get the markings on my football, and again I'm using that Artistro white paint marker. They work really well. They are my favorite paint markers. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my apple now just to give some dimension there on that leaf. I'm using some light green. Again, just kind of blending it as I go so it's not real streaky. decided I need to thicken up my lines a little there on that football. Again, I'm going to give them a quick dry, and I'm going to do the same thing with that ground espresso Ranger ink, just so that way it gives it a nice finished edge there. That really helps it to pop off the surface. You'll notice on the football I am avoiding going over the white with that ground espresso there, because that white would wrap around the football. Now here I'm wanting to make sure that my fall is centered on my board, so I'm just measuring and giving it a little mark so that way I know where to glue my pieces. Just using my glue tool there and some glue to firmly push them down in place. Now, if this sign was going to be somewhere that some direct sunlight would be on it regularly, it'd probably be a better option to go ahead and use a wood glue, but I'm not going to have it displayed where it'll be having direct sunlight on it. I just made sure that my pieces fit where I needed them to. I'm going to go ahead and use these, they're like command strip picture hangers, the Velcro pieces, so that way we can add our little elements and remove them and to swap them out as we'd like to. Now I cut out the words "it's y'all" using my Cricut, so I'm going to go ahead and place those on there. And that's it, guys. It turned out super cute. Thanks so much for watching, and I do hope that you enjoyed this video.